There's a common reaction people have when they first visit Chicago. When they see the expansive blue waters of a lake that could easily be mistaken for an ocean. When they view the steel and glass skyscrapers rising out of what was once flat prairie. Or when they encounter one of the city's many neighborhood festivals. It's that reaction of, I had no idea it was so big, so beautiful, so clean, or just so much fun. Chicago, you see, has this habit of surprising people, ever since it rose from the ashes of the Great Chicago Fire. It surprised the world just 19 years later when it hosted the 1893 World's Columbian Exposition and entertained over 30 million visitors. It surprised them when it reversed the flow of a river. When people said buildings could only go so high, Chicago surprised them, erecting the world's first skyscraper. When people said grand museums were the province of the East Coast or Europe, Chicago surprised them. And when people said fine dining belonged to the culinary capitals of the world, well, surprise, Chicago became the most exciting American city for dining. Chicago's theaters have been surprising and exciting people ever since they opened their doors. Along Michigan Avenue, shoppers are always surprised at how much stamina it takes to actually try to visit all the stores on the Magnificent Mile. Of course, the driving force behind what makes Chicago so surprising are the people who populate its diverse neighborhoods. People literally from every corner of the world who call Chicago home. It's their energy and their passion for life itself that drives Chicago forward. And no place is their passion more evident than in their love of sport. On any given day in Chicago, you will see our backyards, our schoolyards, and our parks filled with people running, biking, and kicking or throwing balls of all sizes. And when they're not playing, they're filling seats and stands throughout the city, cheering at the many athletic events that take place here. And what does Chicago do when people start to think they've got it figured out? It adds something new and different to the mix, like the urban poetry that is Millennium Park. Now imagine a city that offers everything Chicago does, hosting the athletes of the 2016 Olympic and Paralympic Games. A games focused on the athlete, in the center of the city, in the heart of a nation, becoming the focal point of a global celebration. And imagine just how many languages people will use to express their surprise.
Our motto is don't let no one work harder than you. And gladiators work hard.
I'm here 6 to 7 days a week, 5 to 6 hours a day.
About 18 hours a week.
I'll do a little bit of footwork just to get my body warmed up.
Hit the speed bag, hit the double end bag.
And we go for 3 events, we're about 45 minutes.
Jog 2 laps around a 400-meter track.
I'm able to do more things than most people at this age, and it's just really cool for me.
The part that captivated me was how beautiful the sport was, how graceful.
Such a combination of power and agility and like the balance that it takes to row successfully is just phenomenal.
It's what I do, it's what I'm really good at. Once you find that, you know that you have to pursue your dreams through that, and you can't just let it go to waste.
You fence for yourself and you fence to fight for your values, and I'm ready to dedicate everything to it.
It's so great when you do something successfully. It's not just that great feeling of pride within yourself, but you know that everyone around you is feeling it. You know, you get to be a part of something bigger. When you're tired and you're working through your tiredness, that is when your real work is coming.
You have to be able to push yourself to your absolute physical limit. Everything in your head and in your body is telling you do not do this, but you have to do it to be successful.
It's all gonna pay off in the long run, and I know I can make it.
My dream is to just do my best along the way, and if I can, go to the Olympics.
I can see myself being up on that podium holding my country's flag.
Just being in the Paralympics would be great. I don't necessarily have to win. If I won, it would be phenomenal.
If you go and watch the Olympics, that gives you something to aspire to, and it shows kids that there's something that they can amount to, and it could give them the inspiration they need to keep going, and, you know, keep the passion for all sports alive in this city.
At the Olympics, you're surrounded by all other athletes of all such a high caliber, and in that sense, you're like a big family. It creates a really special link between Olympic athletes.
Pop, 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 pop.
I feel like my destiny is to be a boxer.
Body and head. That's it.
It's a sport that I love, and I'm making something good out of my fighting on the streets. I wanna make history.
I think that the Olympics are a great way of all the countries coming together.
Instead of showing the differences, they show the similarities between one another.
The Olympics are about doing the best you can in whatever you do, all the time.
The Olympics help people become better people.
Chicago stands for everything the Olympics stands for, so it kind of connects.
I think the logo is cool.
I like it a lot.
Well, I think the name of the logo for the Chicago Star really works.
I like the colors.
It has a star in the middle with 6 points.
It really gives that feeling that the Olympics and Chicago work together.
The colors all represent different things.
Gold for the skyline of Chicago.
Red would mean passion that the city has.
And then the green will stand for all the parks that Chicago has.
And the blue stands for the different types of waters we have around the city, like Lake Michigan.
Since we were little kids, we've been told like a star is like a dream maybe, and like you reach for the stars.
If you look during the nighttime, you'll see that Chicago is actually very bright with all the city lights. That's what I always thought of, stars.
The star on the logo makes me think of the Chicago stars on the city flag.
The 6 points on the star, they represent like different values in the Olympics and in Chicago.
With hope, it's sort of empowering you to go after your dream and to attain something that you really want.
Sure, you might go through your ups and downs, but there's always something. When one door closes, another one will open.
It means that you have to respect the rules and play by them.
I believe harmony means that the nations there competing friendly
Like there's no hostility, they're not fighting, they're just having fun and representing their nation.
It's good for people to get along. It's better if people get along. We wouldn't have as many problems.
Friendship is a really big part of the Olympics because it brings everyone together.
You know that someone's by your side always, and you always have a shoulder to lean on.
Another value is excellence.
You're inspired to pursue your dreams like what athletes do.
And they should always try to do their best.
The Olympics bring out the best in people.
The next point on the star is celebration.
Chicago is like a wonderful city.
A place that's joyful and fun and everything that just makes you happy.
There's a lot of activities downtown like Taste of Chicago and the festivals.
Chicago's the best.
Really, really beautiful, and like the skyline at night and just lights up, it's so pretty.
Having the Olympics come in Chicago would be a great experience.
I'd be very excited because we've never had it here and I've never been able to go, and if it was here I could have the possibility of going.
Chicago is such a great city, and we have this opportunity to show other countries that we have great values in this city, and that it's just a wonderful place to hold the Olympics.
This is a city that reversed the flow of a river and completely rebuilt itself after the Great Fire. There's little doubt some of that spirit rubbed off on me. I mean, I had a choice. I could sit in my chair and watch the world go by, or let other people sit in their chairs and watch me go by.
Make no small plans has long been our city's unofficial motto. From Daniel Burnham's bold vision after the Great Fire to the creation of Millennium Park, Chicago has always been a place where dreamers and pragmatists live in perfect harmony.
When I was a kid, I used to train around Washington Park. And now they're talking about building the Olympic Stadium on the same spot. Imagine crowds of 80,000 cheering on the athletes. I mean, when I worked out here, a big crowd was 2 squirrels and maybe a cat.
We may be known as the city that works, but we also enjoy our fair share of play. For some 26 miles, in fact, Green Parkway marries with Blue Lakefront to create an urban oasis the entire city can enjoy. Add to that world-class museums and the many festivals that dot the calendar, and you have a city that celebrates life on a daily, if not hourly, basis.
Most friendships don't begin with you grabbing the other person and throwing them to the ground. But that's what's special about the Olympics. I actually became friends with the guy who beat me. It's funny. One moment, you're using every hold and grip you know to take down your opponent. And the next, you're using only one grip, a handshake.
Chicago has often been called the heart of America. And that heart beats a little quicker at the very thought of hosting the Olympics and leaving a lasting legacy for future generations, including a state-of-the-art Olympic village right on the lake. When you stop to think about it, there's something fitting about the games coming here. After all, Chicago has long been linked with fire, but this time, it would sit safely at the end of a torch.
In the next 9 years, I figure I'll be able to swim 262,945 more laps, give or take a few. I'm hoping that will get me to the Olympics. But if it doesn't, I'm hoping the subway will.
day to learn about the Olympic and Paralympic Games. The Olympic and Paralympic Games are a celebration of sport that brings together the world's best athletes.
And thanks to all of you students and teachers here at Overton for this special day opening the Olympic Week in America. It's really very special.
And I want you to say, "Go Chicago!" Let's bring the Olympics here.
The Chicago 2016 committee is celebrating Olympic Week in America with a school-based program of classroom lessons focused on Olympic ideals and values created by the U.S. Olympic Committee. One of the main reasons why we're pursuing the Olympic and Paralympic Games is because of the lasting legacy they'll leave to the children of our great city and, of course, to the world.
I competed in the Olympics probably before some of your parents was born. I competed in the Olympics in 1960, and my event was the hurdles, the high hurdles. This is the actual finish of the race, and I'm the big guy with the big head over here, okay? This is at the finish line right afterwards. And the idea of us coming here is to hopefully inspire you to do the very best you can wherever your talents lead you.
And now, let the games begin. All the way through, all the way through.
They learned a lot about the Olympics this week. It teaches so much what we want to teach them here. Good citizenship, sportsmanship, social studies. They learned so much more about their nations that they had adopted. It was great.
It's such an enormous opportunity for our children to really identify with the Olympics. Our children wrote letters to the Olympians to just kind of set the tone for Olympic Week.
Thank you for representing our country in such a special event.
And then having our visitor here, Mr. Pickens, today, just really set in with our children as well.
And I was able to make the Olympic team and had a great time, made a lot of friends, traveled around the world, young guy, never leaving the neighborhood.
It was awesome. We had a huge Paralympic event at our school today with Chicago 2016. We had a bunch of Paralympians come in, and then we had some wheelchair basketball sessions and some bocce ball sessions. It was fantastic. The whole school got to participate. It was really a great experience for us. I think all of the kids came out with an understanding of not just what the Paralympics are, but about the Olympics as a whole, about the Olympics possibly coming to Chicago in 2016. And they really got a sort of a sense of, teamwork and getting to play these activities together. I think it was really fantastic for them.
I teach them to be fair, friendly, fair play. I try to explain even for the Olympic gold medal, athletes help each other. This program is really grassroots for the, I will say, future Olympic athletes. In their early age, they kind of understand, they discover their abilities. We don't grade by results, we grade by effort. They have to give effort. And some children are really surprised how well they can do.
They've taken a lot of time to really understand what the Olympics are and what it means to Chicago. And what's important is that kids can see that there's a world beyond Chicago and that we're actually inviting the world into our front door.